And that's why I have a really hard time when people are like, you're so confident. You're a person who will always speak your mind, who will like all these attributes, right? And they were like, this makes you so great. And I'm like, that's crazy because I don't see myself like that.
No, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Again, we're always our worst critic. Hey. Welcome back to Two Little Wine Podcast with Jada
and Ashley.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Once again, if you haven't watched our most recent episode, we are in the same outfits. This is part 2. We are drinking bubbly, sparkling water, fire. I'm going to have to try the other flavors because I really like it.
Pomegranate.
Okay, so those two, cherry and
those
blueberry.
Are like my 2 favorites.
All right, I'm going to buy a case because I like it. I keep going like this. It's because I'm so sticky.
Your lip gloss?
Yeah, my lip gloss is popping.
Yes.
So on today's episode,
no,
I know. I was looking for my lip gloss. So on today's episode, we're gonna talk about a little bit about our personalities. Do you know our personalities? So we took a little personality quiz, and we're just gonna like go through that a little bit. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like as I'm getting older, right? This year I'll be 30. I am finding I'm learning so much about myself that I didn't necessarily know. For example, this semester in school that just passed, I always thought of myself as like, I didn't know like type A, type B, type C, whatever they actually meant. But I always thought that I was like leaning more towards type A personality, which is like somebody who's like, I don't want to say strict in their ways, but like somebody who like prepares, somebody who's like always on time with their stuff, was very, very organized. I knew I wasn't that, but I knew I wasn't type B, which is like chaos and like doesn't prepare and whatever. But I learned that was type C. Should I say what type C is?
What is that? Yeah.
I just really wanted to say. So the traits are you're a perfectionist, detail oriented, but then you're passive and you're sensitive. You avoid conflicts, sometimes need approval, and often put others' needs before you. You may be prone to immune related illnesses due to putting people first. And emotional suppression. I was like, yo, read me to filth. That's exactly how I felt this whole semester. How do you think? Do you think you're type A?
I don't know enough. Like, I haven't looked at the details of like type A, type
All right,
B,
really
and type
quick.
C.
Really quick.
Okay.
Type A is competitive, ambitious, impatient, highly organized, often stressed. You're goal-oriented, you multitask a lot, and you may have trouble relaxing because you always have something to do. I feel like you're low-key type A.
Can you read the rest of that?
Type B, relaxed, easygoing, flexible, creative, emotionally stable, enjoys achievements but not obsessed with getting things done. You handle stress a lot better. You live a balanced lifestyle. You're generally lower stress and better emotional well-being. I feel like you're type A.
Yeah, I think I'm more type A.
Yeah, because you're like very organized.
I think I'm pretty organized.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm not the person that's like starting a project a week in advance.
No, but you plan things out.
Oh yeah,
weeks in advance.
Well, it depends.
Like
what
things. I just feel like you're a planner, Ashley. You are.
Okay, I am a planner. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, when it comes to having a task and a deadline, I'm not gonna like plan it out and be organized on that. No, I will plan it out and be organized, and then I'm doing it in the last minute.
Okay.
Like stuff like that. But I do think I probably most identify with type A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. And then so we took personality quizzes.
Yeah, so we took the Myers-Briggs personality quizzes. We'll leave it in the description box. So if you're interested in figuring that out. But the essence is that there's 16 types of personalities. And it asks you specific questions to kind of uncover that for you, basically. I cracked up because I did mine 3 times. Because
you didn't like the results the first time?
Not because I didn't like the results, because the results do sound like me, but I felt like the first time that I took it, I was like, am I answering this kind of truthfully? Because there were some questions that it asked, and I kind of wrote them down. That I was kind of like, that I was like, damn, Ashley, is that really what you think? Like, so for example, when it was asking about like,
first it says, like, it tells you before you take it, be as honest as you can with yourself.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt like. I wasn't being as honest with myself. So like one of the questions in particular that's sticking out to me was like about, do you value people's emotions over data? And
what'd you say to that?
so I put agree, but not like
not
all the way
fully
to
agree, like in the
closest
middle.
to the middle.
Yeah.
But more on the agree side.
That you
'cause I
value
do
people's
feel
emotions
like I
more
value
than
people.
data.
Yeah. And then part of me, I was like judging myself because I'm like, well, girl, that's kind of dumb because numbers are numbers. Facts are facts. But I also think that, like, I think I'm thinking about it like in my job, right? Like the anecdotal data and like the description of what you see combined with like the numbers and the charts. That's what to me makes sense, and that's how you can get a full picture of something.
So you answered that not so honest, because really you didn't want to seem fucked up to yourself maybe, but you were more on the data side. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that I value both.
Yeah.
But I felt like I wasn't, okay, if I really had to choose what was more important to me, I would say the feeling.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But the first time I was like, no, I'm in the middle. And so I felt like I was doing that a lot, where I'll be like, I'm not gonna go all the way to the right or all the way to the left.
That's funny.
And so then I was like, no, okay, Ashley, try again. And I waited. Like I took it yesterday and then I took it today. Like I was like, let me see. And every single time it was
Came
the
back
same
the
one.
same. Wow, wow.
Which is good to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and like you learned things about yourself.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think, yeah. And I think I'm more open to like
accepting.
No, because now it's there. Like I'm gonna be noticing it more because now it's up.
Yeah, because your eyes are open.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
I feel like my results. I was like, yeah, I know this. Like, but I think it's because within the last year I've grown so much and I've learned all these things about myself through observation and like just going through it. And I'm like, oh yeah. So when I got the answers, I was like, fuck yeah, I know myself.
I think I wasn't surprised by my results. So mine was you got the advocate.
Okay.
Which is the INFJ. That was mine.
What is the letters? I was confused too, because mine says that I'm a campaigner.
So the letters, because it scales it on introvert, like
introverted
like or extroverted. Yeah, intuitive. I don't remember the other one.
I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so introverted versus extroverted, intuitive versus observant, thinking versus feeling, judging versus prospecting, and assertive versus turbulent. So I got the INFJ assertive type.
I got ENFP. Where does it say the letter? The scroll. What does that say?
Extroverted, intuitive, feeling, prospecting, and turbulent.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I was so extroverted.
Girl, you just said that you meet somebody and you want to be besties with them. All of those
but it's
questions.
my optimism that everybody's a good person and they are who they say they are.
Yeah, but you can think people are good people and not be like, they're going to be my best friend.
No, I don't. I have very few best friends.
We're going to be friends. All right, let's take the word best out of it.
Back into that, yeah.
So this reminds me, there was a little girl in my school, right? They're learning about flowers, whatever. And I was talking to her I'm like, it's my best friend's birthday. I'm going to buy her flowers. And she's like, oh, what's your best friend's name? So I told her, I'm like, oh, her name is Christine. And she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, yeah, I know her. And I'm like, you know her? And she was like, yeah, her name is Christine.
That's so cute.
But that's what that reminds me of. I know her. She's my friend. I know her name.
I met her yesterday. I know her. And then when I find things out, I'm like, damn.
I guess I know her.
I didn't know. Like, for real. Whatever. This is bringing me back to back in the day. I don't think they do this now, but at American Eagle, when I first got hired at, I think I was 17. No, I lied. Ooh, I was like a freshman in college, so I must have been like 7. Yeah, I must have been 17 when we first started. Yeah. They made you. They didn't, before they even interviewed you, you had to take a personality quiz. And whatever you scored, they wouldn't give you your results. But if you scored, whatever you scored, you did well when they called you back for an interview. Yeah. So they would basically hire you off of the personality thing. I think that they stopped it after a couple of years, but that was so interesting to me. I'm like, what? I have to do this for a thing? But it made sense because they would like coach us and show us videos on how to be as an employee. And like, obviously, if you don't have the personality for it, you're not going to fit their type of employee.
Right. Yeah. I feel like I've done this test many times. So when I say the results kind of surprised me because I've done it before, and I don't think that this is the one that came up for me.
Gotcha. So you've had different results before.
Yes. And I think because I've taken it like in college, I did it a few years ago. My friends and I like just all did it. And yeah, I don't think that this was, I wish I had the results, but I don't think it was this.
It's interesting that Ashley says advocate, because that's literally the field you're in. And then
interesting or accurate.
Right. No, both.
Yeah.
And it's for me, right? I was like campaigner. I would never campaign for anything, but low key, like I have my business, so I have to campaign for myself.
Yeah. Like advertising.
Yeah.
Didn't you study marketing?
I did.
In a past life.
But yeah.
Yeah, but like just that whole idea of like
putting yourself out there and then getting the attention
exactly.
and like all of that. Yeah.
Yep.
So mine starts off with like vibrant force of enthusiasm, creativity, like infectious energy that draws people to you, like charisma, you're genuine, your curiosity. Like it says your curiosity has no bounds, because a lot of the questions, it was like, some of the questions, it was like, do you like to think more logically, or are you open to having conversations that are like not something along the lines like there's not a definite answer.
Yeah, like philosophical.
Yeah. I love that. I could talk to for hours because nobody's like wrong.
Contemplating.
Yeah, nobody's wrong, nobody's right. I'm a little crazy, but it depends what mood I'm in. But I've said this before. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm not just a dreamer, but like you're a dreamer with a mission. I relate to that 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like cool to know that I'm not, like I know myself in that way. How did yours start out?
Which part are you reading?
Just the first part, like when it says you're a campaigner.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You possess a unique combination of idealism and insight that sets you apart in today's world. Your rich inner life is characterized by complex emotions, vivid imagination, and a deep well of empathy that allows you to connect with others on a profound level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I see that in you. I think that's why you're so good. I've told Ashley all the time that she's so good at podcasting, because your delivery and the way that you can articulate your thoughts and like bounce off.
It's so funny because another one of the questions that stuck out to me was like when you are saying how you feel, are you considerate of other people's feelings? And that's something that I struggle with, to the point that sometimes I will not honor myself.
Right, because I'm worried about
somebody else. Yeah. Which part of me is like, well, I like that about myself, that I care about other people and being empathetic, but I'm like, okay, well, we gotta find this happy medium, because you can't just be in
So you were more in
yourself.
you agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was more on the I disagree with that statement.
Yeah, and it was funny because when I was doing it, I'm like, yeah, Jada's gonna be on the other side.
Yo, but like, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I don't think there's
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no.
No, but it's true. It's true.
So then I went on TikTok and I put in this my code.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and I was like, what does it say? And this thing that came up really like, I don't know, like it resonated with me, but it kind of made me a little sad.
I want to hear it.
So 2 things. One, I found that this was the rarest personality type, which I was like, oh, okay, I'm rare. No,
like a diamond or gem. I don't know.
No, I'm just laughing. But this says, you were always so mature for your age. And then the person wrote after, no, I just became hyper independent, so I wouldn't. Maybe this isn't from. Maybe I just screenshotted this.
Oh.
Now that I'm reading the rest of it, I'm like, I don't think this was in the same Googles. But I'll read it anyways. I just became hyper independent, so I wouldn't be a burden to anyone. Now I'm untangling years of emotional suppression, perfectionism, and pretending I was fine because I thought love meant being the easy one.
I think that still could fit.
Yeah. So now after reading the next part, part of it was like, you are a perfectionist. You're so worried about being perfect that then you're self-conscious, and maybe people don't always see that, or like,
yeah, it's like to your detriment. Yeah.
But yeah, I found that super interesting. And I think that I've always kind of known this, like I've known that statement to be true for myself, but I never want to believe it because I'm like, that just sounds so sad. And
it's okay to be sad though,
because then I think about I'm like, and I don't know why then I make this about like my mom and like my parents.
You always do.
I know, because then I'm thinking about them and like,
yeah, but that's okay.
I wouldn't want them to feel bad about
it. Doesn't matter
me
though.
Feeling like I never wanted to be a burden to them.
No, but it's your life at the end of the day.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think that you struggle with like being not who you expected, or like not who you expect to be to yourself.
Yes.
Not to the world. To yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I have a really hard time when people are like, oh, you're like this. You're so confident. You're a person who will always speak your mind, who will like all these attributes, right? And they were like, this makes you so great. And I'm like, that's crazy because I don't see myself like that. Like, for sure in some aspects, but I think like when I sit with myself, I don't see it. I could see those attributes in a lot of situations, but like not necessarily across the board.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Again, we're always our worst critic because it's like it could be yes and right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And I'm still an emotional wreck inside, and that's okay. That's how I am. And so I'm like, rainbow, everything's fine. Also, my thing was like that first part that we read. It was like you're driven by your values, and quest for authenticity. So, and it says you have a strong sense of what's right and wrong. I feel like the older I get, the more I just truly want to be authentic to me. And that might make me selfish in ways, and I'm okay with that.
I think that that's part of growth. That is what it means to grow.
Like, I'm trying to like stand on business. Like last week off camera, I talked about I don't like the way that I come off on camera. And that's my perspective, right? Like, I feel like I have a hard time watching myself without getting embarrassed of what I'm saying. But then after we had that conversation, I'm like, no, because that's just me in that moment. Like, I can watch myself back, learn from that, and be like, I want to be a different person. And that's fulfilling, right? That's authentic to me and my character and my life. So no, fuck it. This is fun.
But that's growth, right? Like, as you kind of become more and more authentic and honor yourself and your feelings more, that is where growth is. And that's how you become your like truest self.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why it's important. That's why that message and like feeling things that like resonate, it's like a little bit, it's healing.
Yeah.
And then you're able to like, and it's hard to hear. Absolutely. And then you're able to like, okay, how can I take this and accept that? And like, what can I learn? What do I need to unlearn like from this?
To heal from that feeling. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you get for like your career path? Miss Advocate.
Mine was
On the money?
On the money,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like social work, social justice stuff. Yeah, that's exactly where it was.
It's so funny because, again, when I read this, I was like, yas, bitch, yas. Because it was basically saying, like, I thrive in environments of creativity and flexibility. Like, the 9-to-5 grind is not for me. It makes me feel stuck in my nature. I have a calling for trying to express myself and my gifts. And I see all of that, and I think about my trajectory of my careers and the things that I've done, and the school that I've, like, the schooling that I've had, and it's like, wow, yeah, I took myself out of those places that weren't authentic to my soul, like to myself, and now I'm in a place where I'm able to do these things and feel good about it. I love it. I so wonder. I wish they would have gave me that personality quiz from when I was 17. To see where
I had to do these like in college.
No, well, I don't know. For marketing, maybe we did.
Like, I feel like I did them in like a lot of my like not basic classes, but like my core classes.
No, I don't know.
Like,
you know, I took a little tangent. Did you ever take just a fun elective? I took 2. I took theater. I was so good.
Everyone that takes theater, they're like, they love it.
Yo, like, low key, in another world, I'm an actress. I found so much fun being the villain, because that's not authentic to me in real life. So when we were in theater class, I was always the villain, and I played it so well. I think about that all the time. And then I took tennis for funsies.
Yeah. Would you do it now? Like, would you be in a play?
I don't know. I think in my current, like, crazy busy, if I had time, I don't think that I would make time for it. But I think I would if I had time.
So, like, do a hobby.
Yeah.
I know a few people who've done a play, like, recently, and they're like, they did it when they were older, like my mom's age.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
I'll do that. Yeah.
Like, just do something new.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy too, though, or it's not crazy, but I get this like rush of anxiety and nervousness when I'm in front of a crowd. Mm-hmm. But then once I do what I have to do, like present, like in school.
Yeah.
I feel so good after. So yeah, maybe I need to do that when I'm older, like when I have time for it.
Yeah. Yeah. This one also, it's funny because it was like, professional decisions are not guided by conventional yardsticks of success like financial gain or status. And I just feel like that is so the social worker in me.
Yeah.
Even though there is a misconception that social workers cannot make good money, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's not Ashley. What'd you get for personal growth? Did you read that part?
Which one?
The personal growth.
Let's see.
Yeah, I got like my path to growth involves like learning and finding ways to be creative and productive. So it's pretty much telling me to like stay on track with what I'm doing, which that's always how I feel.
You feel like you want to do something else?
All the time. All the time. Yeah, like, fun fact, I am officially, like, I don't have any part-times. So this is the first time in my life
you have one job.
That I have one job. Yo, crazy to think. Yeah. Like, something in me is like, I can do that. And it's like, no, babes, focus. Stay on the path.
You left that other job so that you can
focus here. Yes. Yeah. But that's what this is telling me too. So you're reading me fulfilled, babes. And I love it. I'm here for it.
They did not hold your hand.
Mm-hmm. And I was taking the quiz while I was walking. But I did find, it's funny that you mentioned it, I did find that I was in the middle. So like when you take the quiz, it's like you strongly agree, you strongly disagree, you're neutral, and then there's like a button in the middle. And I kept going towards the middle because there was like very few that I was like, I disagree or I agree.
Yes, for me there were definitely very few that I was all the way on the end. Mm-hmm. But I tried to like, when I felt like neutral, I tried to like sit with myself and be like, all right, do you really not care? or is there one? What
Right,
would
like,
you
are you
prefer?
indifferent? Yeah.
And there was only like one or two
Me
that I was
too.
super indifferent about.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's just funny that you took it 3 times and you still got the same one.
Yeah.
So,
But mine says your journey of personal growth is deeply intertwined with your quest for authenticity and self-understanding, which
you literally just said that.
Yeah. Yep. A key challenge is learning to balance your idealistic nature with practical realities. Yeah.
That's you. 100% through and through.
Yep.
All right. The last one, relationships. What did you get? I'm so curious. Because mine is so cute.
Oh, mine says you seek deep, authentic connections that go beyond surface level interactions. Your empathy and intuitive understanding of others make you a valued friend and partner, capable of offering profound insights and unwavering support.
Where's the support for Ashley?
You know what's crazy?
She rolled her eyes.
When I read that, as I'm reading this part, and I was reading in another section that just made me think of like, I feel like I am always the one pouring. And not to say like,
no, because you're gonna bring this back to like, my friends are bad and blah blah blah. You're not.
I feel like I pour a lot.
Yeah, and that's okay to say.
Particularly in romantic relationships.
Yeah, and Ashley's cup needs to be period. Ashley's cup needs to be poured into.
Amen.
Yes.
And then the next portion says, like, your need for privacy and tendency to keep your innermost thoughts and feelings hidden can sometimes create barriers in your relationship.
Bro, this is crazy. Wow. I can't wait to 5 years from now. We're gonna take this again and see where we're at.
Yeah, girl.
Because it's not
1 year from now.
1 year from now. Yeah, you know what? 1 year from now. Yeah. Because it's so interesting because we develop ourselves and we grow and we learn and we change the things we don't like and we become different people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And nature versus nurture, like that whole.
Yes.
That's something that I feel like is ever changing. Like, obviously your nature doesn't change, but your nurture and like where you're able to put yourself in and doing your inner work, your healing, like that can change your personality and what is important to you to be closest to your authentic self.
Maybe yesterday or the day before, I was actually like going through my books and like I was trying to find something, my certificate for esthetician school, and I found my shadow book work like in something else, and I was like, what are you doing hiding there? I was looking for you, and now we're filming this, and this was before like I think we like solidified that we were fit. Look at the universe.
Yeah, I have that book and
I only did like the first 3 pages, girl.
I had that book for 2 years and
it's so hard, Ashley, and I think I've said this to you before, and I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but it's so hard for me to like pen and paper write down like the negative emotions or hard things. Like, I'd rather write the hard things electronically because I feel, and I was thinking about this, it's more real. And if you erase it, the words are still there. It's more permanent and you have to sit with that. Whereas like I could just delete it on my phone and it looks like it never happened.
Yeah.
Crazy work.
I could totally.
Yeah.
I think same. So when I'm like, I feel like naturally whenever I'm like, oh, let me journal about this, it's usually like about negative feelings. And I have such a hard time even being honest in them, like, because I'm like,
like if somebody's watching,
it's not good. Like,
I feel like somebody's watching over me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spill no tea.
Well, it feels like once I write it down on paper, then it becomes really real.
Yeah.
Like then it's really like, oh, this is how you really feel.
Right.
You know?
And it's a scary feeling. I don't know that I will ever get over that feeling, but I do like the book because it challenges me at least to think about it. Yeah. At least to think about those emotions and how I feel, and you know, like where I was, like to look back and be like, wow, I've grown so much. Or, you know, maybe I should continue to work on this. Right?
Yeah.
my relationships, it was like whether romantic, platonic, or familial, you bring warmth, enthusiasm, and depth, your genuine interest in others, and your ability to see their potential and make me a cherished partner. But I value connections, and I'm always ready to engage in friendships. Yeah, this is a phase. Imagine next year I'm like, I don't like people.
That's funny. I am challenging myself, and I think I've talked about it on some other episodes to like be a little bit more open and be like, let me like meet new people. Let me try new things. But my intention with meeting new people is not like necessarily looking for friends. I'm going in like very open-minded. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not looking to make a friend. I'm not looking for a partner. I'm looking for a good interaction. And if that develops into a friendship or like whatever.
But that's how I feel like I am. And I'm giving more than that. But that's what I genuinely like. I'm not like walking through my day meeting people saying I'm gonna be their friend. I don't think that's in my personality. I just feel like I'm such an open book that when I genuinely feel like people are being open with me in that same capacity, it's like, oh, okay, like a friendship can develop, and like I'm open to it. But it's not like I think I say it the way that I say it. It's like I want to be everybody's friend, and that's not how I feel. It's just it ends up I become friendly with a lot of people. Yeah,
I'm definitely like dry.
There's this. Oh my god,
I'm mad dry.
I'm gonna have to remember, or next episode I'll bring it back, because there's a new show that I started watching, like 20-minute episodes, very very funny. Like there's four friends that live together, and one of them, they're like getting on him because they're like, no, he's besties with everybody. Every time he meets somebody, he makes them feel so comfortable that they open up to him and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, that's like me. And they were like coming at him, and he's like, I'm not like that. And I was like, holy shit. We twinsies.
Yeah, I do think that for me, like I make people very comfortable.
You do?
And so they talk to me, and then I end up like not sharing things. I actually have one friend that I met recently that whatever, like when we hang out, it's great, whatever. And I remember telling my mom after, I'm like, oh, I was hanging out with so-and-so, and I feel like I just saw her and I just started like word vomiting.
I like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's nice.
Like you felt comfortable for a change, right?
Yes, but I also was like, I did say to myself, like, dang, well, I need to let her talk. Like, I need to give her that space. But she's never, like, I don't think I think that's an inner thought of me of like, I'm oversharing or I'm like,
I agree,
taking up the space here.
I agree. And she was probably like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that. Very cute. Well, I didn't know that name that you said of this personality.
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. This actually is a very known.
Yes, it's very well known.
I remember hearing the name.
And it's like used a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm gonna keep like reading through it. And I don't know, I might actually pay for the like deluxe
just to see.
So we'll leave it in the description box for those of you who are interested in taking it. It's nice to be able to like reflect.
Yeah, get to know yourself a little bit. Maybe you find out things that you've never known, or maybe you're like, okay, yeah, this is me. This is cool to see in word format.
Yeah, and also like, yes, this is how I am. And you know what? Maybe I want to work on this or change it, or I'm going to embrace this more. Mm-hmm. And that's all part of like growth,
which we're here for.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
That was fun.
Last words?
That was fun. We're definitely, this is going to be a thing that we do next year to reflect on.
Yes. Mark your calendars. 1 year, next June.
We're doing it all over again.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to YouTube.
At Two Little Wine Podcast.
Yes.
And we will see you next Tuesday. Cheers.
There it is. Cheers.
I drank all of mine.